like I was trying to buy them. What, my kindness? People, I guess, don't understand kindness because they've been spreading so much hate all the time. When somebody does a nice act, there was even a time I brought a brand new TV set for one of the classrooms in the elementary school. Now, what was I trying to do there? Were these legal people? Were these police? Were these... No, just a school with kids. The teachers appreciated, the kids appreciated when their TV broke down. So I was nice enough to give to my community, because I do that every now and again. So that was a terrible thing to do. They even made something out of that because I gave a TV to the school. They could turn that into poison very easily. Very easily, they could turn something very innocent into something that's very toxic. Oh, he gave a TV. Gave a TV to the elementary school. Wow, that was quite bold of you, dude. What was the motive behind that? Well, according to these people, there always seems to be a motive behind something. I know people that work in different professions, all different professions. So what's the big deal with that? There isn't a big deal with that. That's the point. No point to any of this. None. But they'll try to find fault. Well, wait till we report you. Or we're going to send this to different agencies. Well, don't let me stop you. You're either doing something wrong or you're not. And the act of kindness of going out to lunch with somebody or giving a TV to a school or some blasphemous thing like that, I gotta see. Well, that's one thing I'm not gonna get rid of. Just jeez. All I had to do was walk out of the door and pew, bam. Sounds like John Wayne. John Wayne Gacy or John. Oh, the world is waking up. The birds, the roosters. Can you hear that in the background? Kind of a pleasant sound to wake up to. What a weird bird call. 23 in the house. 23 in the house. If you new subscribers, oh my God, I think we hit, what did we hit, 9,000? Did we just hit 9,000 subscribers? Well, that's another thing too. If somebody don't like you, you're going to say, oh, nah, you don't have 9,000 subscribers. You bought them. Really? Can you prove that? Believe me, if I was buying subscribers, I'd be at 50,000 or something. I wouldn't go low, I'd go high. Why settle for a couple of subscribers here and there? I'd go big time. Arthur, if you're out there, I'll have to go through that list, Arthur. I got a pretty good avid follower here, Mr. Arthur. Um, I have to find that list again somehow. It's hard to navigate on this phone. I mean, no explanation. It's just hard to navigate on this particular phone. I'll try to find you. Get you back on. I don't know what happened. I think I know what happened that day. I was getting rid of another a troll. I hit you instead as far as hiding from the channel. I didn't realize it till later. You mentioned to me. Sorry about that. Arthur's not always on at the time that I'm on. So he likes to listen to my reruns. And some things I keep on, some things I don't. Now, if you notice that there's been changes on my channel, I took a lot of shit off. And I've been basically trying to get away with the from the any type of references to trolls and crap like that. Keep the channel clean, which everybody should do, but everybody has their own prerogative to do what they want. Yeah, I'm not coming on here unless I really have something to say or something really to share, whether it's an outing or something like that. But things are kind of changed up a little bit on here. Listen to that bird. I've been kind of upping my workouts just a little tiny bit. Kind of a slow progression on as far as, I don't know, isometrics and whatever. Not enough. I don't do enough. But you can't just totally dive into it. I think that's a mistake a lot of people make is to dive into something. It's not a good idea to dive into something and could be more harmful than benefiting actually. I don't I could push the envelope with other things, but I'm not going to push the envelope with the level of exercise I do. It's just something that's, as I say, just very gradual. And you work up slowly, though. That's the key. Slowly. You got to work up slowly. Where is my famous? Oh, here it is, my special cup. You know the routine. I gotta make my morning brew here. Pretty traditional on my show. Pardon me, I'm procedural. Gotta go through certain procedures here. There goes the micro. I just heat it up in a micro with water. That's what I do. In fact, I need to take about a 3 minute break. I don't know. I really don't follow that. Contrary to belief, I don't follow that guy. His shows are boring. I've been very limited, actually, what I've been watching lately. I've been getting a little bit into some world news, which I don't usually get into. But I'm coming to the realization, and I've had this realization years ago, really, that there's a lot of bad juju going on. There's a lot of bad shit going on with the planet and everything. It's just. Now, the funny thing is, it's almost like we're being warned. If you watch a lot of sci fi stuff, and you think it's all entertaining and all that, and a lot of people say that's ridiculous, that's never going to happen. A magnetic field is not going to be interrupted by something, or, you know, and a lot of naysayers say, no, climate change has nothing to do with this, nothing to do with that, but God, they're so wrong. It's so obvious what's going on. But that's the point. People make something out of something that's not going on. But you can't deny any more climate change. There was a large group of people in the world that, in scientist community, they were back and forth on that. Well, I think they're pretty much all, for the most part, I think they're. If you guys could excuse me for about a couple of minutes, I gotta hit the CR real quick.
All right, while Frank is taking a piss, I'll fill the void for you guys. So, I'm gonna get reported to Interpol. Uh, I got all my affairs in order. Mr. Tux, good morning, everybody. Can anyone point me to the nearest PNP station? Need to report a cybercrime. Good morning, Passport TV. Frail, there's a lot of bad juju in the world. Everyone like like child groomers. Frail, you are all blocked. So it's the end of the line for old Popeye. Interpol's gonna be hunting me down, man. Just shitting in my pants. Oh man. God damn you, Popeye. This is all your fault. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's all my goddamn fault. I, I started all this shit. I like how he took down a ton of videos, cleaned his image up while he's going crying to the PNP. Passport TV, I saw your video. Outstanding. Outstanding job, dude. Really outstanding. Uh, Man, I just, I just couldn't believe it, man. The balls on this guy. I mean, this guy has broken every cybercrime in the book, for Christ's sake, with what he's called other people. But yet, his feelings are hurt, so if his feelings are hurt, you have to go to jail. Oh my fucking god. Franny the rat. I call him Francine. Hector Gubat, welcome in. We'll be sending you care packages at the Bictican Detention Center soon. Ninong Popeye. Ang maraming salamat, Hector. Ikaw ang masyadong mabaitan talaga. Welcome in, Bobsy. You're buggered now, Popeye. You're going to jail, and there's going to be a. They're going to throw you in the cell with the triple murder named Bubba. He's panicking, and he's not even sure why he's clueless as to his own footing. It is something else nobody on YouTube is dumber. I can't argue with you, Chris Cato. Can't argue with you. Welcome in, Chicken Choker. Tux, don't assume Frank has a pair. I heard he only has one. LOL. Well, sometimes I am a little bit kind there. I give people the benefit of the doubt. Oh man, this guy is just too much. Just too much. I mean, dude, that 5 hour live stream really wrecked him. Just threw him for a loop. Then my Sunday night live stream he snapped. He broke. Oh. But I'm looking forward to doing a regular live stream Sunday night.
Okay, we back.
Oh, here he is, guys. Here he is. Everybody be quiet. We don't want him to know.
There's always a lot of conspiracy theories going on YouTube. Well, like in the world. And as far as like climate change, that's pretty obvious. Facts are facts. You can't change them. But then there's always a conspiracy if you happen to get together with people who have to be in some legal profession of some sort. Oh, there's got to be something going on. If anybody listened to that show, you would hear one of the officers saying that, yeah, if you got a problem, stop by the office, collect evidence, bring it in, do the paperwork. And that was coming from one of the officers. Procedural things you have to do. There's no special favors being done. Although if they're very familiar with your situation going on, they have the prior knowledge, as to whether or not you're having a problem with cybercrime issues or something, it's really good for them to understand and know this stuff. They could better help you that way because they're familiar with the situation. But of course, YouTubers will make a whole big conspiracy out of something because you had lunch. They happen to be representations of the law. There's no rule or law that says that I can't have any kind of a friendship with somebody who happens to be into law enforcement. I suppose in the future, my daughter's kid will be under the gun because he's going to be studying criminology, and that's the way it is. There's got to be something with that. Yes, I know who he's cellmates with. You're not telling me anything I'm not familiar with. Oh, that's right. Today is the 14th month anniversary of Barry being in jail. Today, I almost forgot about that. I believe it is today. Today's the 27th. Oh, congratulations, sir. You did it all on your own. Yeah, it's 14 months today and counting. And what is this? June. So let's start with July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 9 months. He's put 14 in there now. Add 9 to that because the next hearing is going to be like next March or April. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So, unless I'm not doing the math right, he'll have a whole time of, am I right? 24 months incarcerated by the time he gets to his next hearing. Wow. So I say to that is, wow. When somebody's doing wrong, they're doing something wrong, unless proven otherwise. Now, on a surface level, it could look like anything you want it to look like. The very fact that I happen to have a personal friendship, you're allowed to have a personal friendship with somebody who happens to be a representative of the law. There's no law against that. No law. You could take them to lunch when it's their lunchtime. That's your prerogative. Nobody has anything to say about that, need they? But of course, they're going to make some conspiracy out of that. Oh, of course. But he's doing something under the law. How's that? Do explain. Do tell. Oh, and we're going to send all this information, all the agencies that you're cavorting with people who happen to work in a legal profession. Oh, really? Come on now. That's desperation. That's complete desperation. There is no laws being broken because you happen to have a friendship with somebody who happens to be into law enforcement. Zero. My girlfriend is quite familiar with the mayor's wife here. It doesn't mean there's something conspiracy going on. But somebody will try to make a conspiracy out of that too, of course. You know, when you're living in a town long enough, you get to meet people. And you also get to meet people when actually, if you had a cybercrime situation going on with somebody, absolutely. Because that's who you're filing reports with and things like that. And these people have information about, if you've actually discussed it, they have information about something that might be going on with you that might need some attention. Henceforth, they know a little bit about the people involved. No crime in that, that's what they do. So the fact that, hold on, I gotta grab something here, a little protein. One moment.
Oh God, did he go silent again?
So it's kind of like
Oh, there he
borderline hilarious.
is. Yes, I am fooling around with my new espresso machine.
Not only do I know some people that are into professions of law or enforcement, I even know somebody who's in jail. No, not that one. Somebody I know personally. Both sides. Both sides of the table. So what does that make me? It makes me human. I know people in different professions, different situations. So there must be a conspiracy involved with that. Well, that's desperation. Okay, here we
Great
are.
and all-powerful Frank.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with World Zoom. He fucked up pretty royally. People just don't think, and they like to shoot things out of their mouth, and oh well. Then they regret it later. Jewtown, been gone for a while. Yeah, he's still. Today is Barry's 14-month
Did you hear the
anniversary
doorbell,
in
guys?
lockup.
Man, that was Interpol. They're coming to get me.
Today, that would be today. Or was it the 28th? I think it was the 27th today. Am I right? I mean, we're not exactly in big celebration mode here on that. It was just expected that this is the way the system works. Any crimes, in order to get it to court or get proper hearing dates, don't always work the way you want. And that's not my doing. I have nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing to do with that.
Welcome in, Steve.
I don't make the rules on this shit.
25901.
The same as there's no rules saying that you can't know somebody who works in a law profession. There's no crime against that. There's no conspiracy.
There is a crime plying people with big,
So I
expensive
know some people that are
lunches.
on the force. Big deal. If they have to come into town again, I'll meet up with them again. It's not a big deal.
Yet he'll buy them
I'll
another
even invite them over to
luncheon.
my house if I have
Please
to. But
arrest
you got
somebody
to
for me.
separate professional relationship. You could have a professional relationship with them and then you handle things professionally. You could have a personal relationship and you do as such. And you could have both. There's no law against having both, professional and personal relationship. It's not against the law, not against any codes. There's no conspiracy going on. And therefore, null and void these ridiculous accusations that there's something underhanded going on because I happen to know people in a law profession. Shit, I bought my house from somebody who just came out of being the deputy mayor of this town.
My
That's who I bought my
God.
house from. The guy is still a legal advisor. So is there a conspiracy going on with him too? Yeah, the guy was deputy mayor of my town. That's who I bought my house from. So there must mean there's a conspiracy with that. I don't think so. My gosh. Now I'm just waiting for this tea to cool down here. Get the cobwebs out. So that's why I mentioned this, because the trolls were going wild, wild and crazy and hairy. There's absolutely no problemo with knowing people who happen to be law enforcement people. And if anybody listened to that show, they would hear that there was nothing illegal going on. There was nothing illegal said. In fact, if you heard it for yourself, they said, well, acknowledge himself as a friend of mine. Yes, nothing wrong with that. And also said, if you have a problem relating to cybercrime, that you know what to do. You come to the office. He said you have to have some evidence, and then, you do the paperwork. So there's nothing illegal that was said on that video. And if I see them again, I might do another show on there. I don't really need to. But these, certainly one of them is a good friend. And I got to know this guy's boss. There's nothing illegal about that. And they're not going to do anything illegal. They're not going to jeopardize their jobs, and they're not going to jeopardize profession. These guys are not stupid. They'll help you out if you have evidence that you want to present. You want to be willing to go through the paperwork and all the rigmarole that you have to go through with anybody. That's all I've ever done with anybody. You got to have the paperwork. You got to have evidence. If you want to make a case out of something, that's how you start. That's exactly what they said when they were talking on my video. That's exactly what they said. Never misquote. Right away, people are thinking it has to be something exchanged, whether it's a lunch or whether it's money under the table. That's quite an accusation. Really. I don't do anything underhanded in that way. And I never have, and I never will. I value my time here in the Philippines. I'm not that stupid. If I can't get things done the right way, then I guess I don't do anything at all. I'm certainly not going to jeopardize myself or anybody else doing something stupid. And you have to prove that anyway, so whatever. You could talk up a storm on a channel just to make a show and just say, yeah, there's something unholy about knowing people in the police force. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a law out here. I could have hey, my lawyer, I could almost consider a friend. I've known him now for how many years? Showed me his house, Does that make him doing something illegal? No. Sometimes you could become friends with people in a certain profession. Simple as that. There's nothing dark about any of that. Unless some sick mind wants to make it dark. That's why I get my chuckles when I hear people reaching levels of unprecedented desperation where they got to make something out of nothing, and there's nothing there. Believe me, I would not put anything on video, on camera, that I thought was incriminating to me, self-incriminating. That wouldn't make any sense at all.
That's why
If
he
you
took
got
all
nothing
this
to
shit
hide,
down.
then there's nothing to hide. That's it. Unlike somebody who used to do shows who now found himself in a bad situation, go on camera and everything. Now today's the anniversary, 14 months today, and counting. So let's see, 14 already. Let's go to the next month, July. Add July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Let's say it's March. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 23. He will be incarcerated 23 months, almost 2 years as of his next hearing in March or April. Damn, that's pretty heavy duty.
Aren't you proud?
Where did you learn to talk like that? In a Panamanian city sailor? Wanna hum, or maybe get Are you on your meds, dude? I have no idea what you're talking about. Partially cryptic. But thanks for whatever that comment was. I can't say I could understand what the hell you're talking about. But thanks for sharing. Not too much more to talk about this morning, though, except I wanted to address an issue. Well, it's not an issue with me. How about a point? That when people
We
get
got
so
him
desperate
down
and
to
they try to find
13,
so
man.
much
Got him
fault in
down to
everything you say,
13.
they
13
they
people
go over what you
watching.
say with a fine-tooth comb and hope that they find something that's out of place or that they don't think is righteous. Let me sum up the whole thing. There's no law against having people who are friends in a particular industry, particular profession, no matter what the endeavor is, inclusive of police, lawyers, so forth and so on, mayors, barangay captains. There is nothing against the law with that. Zero. I could have people as personal friends, and it could also be a professional friend at the same time, a professional. No law breaking going on with that. Sometimes you get to know people where you approach them on a professional level, but then through the years, you've talked to them so often that it became not only on a professional level, but it became on a personal level. That's exactly what happened with me in some instances. Nothing against the law with that. Absolutely zero, 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 zero. But with these desperados, there's always some kind of conspiracy theory. It must be a conspiracy if you actually have a friendship with somebody in a certain profession. For example, locally, we know people, all kinds of people in all kinds of professions here locally. I'm not familiar with the mayor's wife, really, but my girlfriend is. Okay. And she actually talks to her now and then and actually has met up with her numerous times. So what does that make my girlfriend? Extra special sauce? No, she just happens to know somebody in a certain profession. It's simple as that. I know a few policemen out here, not really as personal friends, but there are people that know who I am. And believe me, if you got a good reputation in town, it gets around, and I do. If you have a bad reputation, that gets around too. I have absolutely no problem or run-ins with the law here in my lovely town, my lovely island, and I never will. I think some police officers have been versed enough to know that I've had trouble on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. They're aware of that. So when something comes up, they say, oh, is that happening again? That's exactly what they say. Sorry to hear that. Is that happening again? Do you want to file a report? They'll say. That's all. Nothing more or less than that. I'll have lunch with anybody I want to have lunch with. I don't care what their profession is. If they just happen to turn out to be friends or during the years turned into a friendship, there's nothing wrong with that. They could still be witnesses for me. They could still do paperwork for me, file reports. It doesn't matter. You could have both a personal and professional relationship with somebody. That's not against the law. Not against the law at all. Nothing underhanded about that. Zero. Although people would try to make something of it, nobody's moonlighting. There's nobody moonlighting for me. There's nobody. Nobody's moonlighting.
Deny it, Frank. Deny
Is it
everything.
an advantage for me
My God,
to
he
have
sounds
people
just like
in
Richard Nixon.
a cybercrime unit that are familiar with me? No. It's actually helpful because if they have the prior knowledge of what's going on, because you've talked to them about it, or maybe they've even done paperwork for you. Maybe they even filed reports for you. So what's the big ado about that? Sure, because you learn a lot. If you know somebody who works for cybercrime, they're able to fill you in on things that maybe you were a little bit cloudy with, unclear of. If they're willing to share their knowledge, just like when I sat down on the video and I asked my friend's boss, um, what's the atmosphere with cybercrime? Is it increasing or has it gotten under control a lot? And he said, no, it's actually increasing. It's small talk. Small talk. I wasn't asking that guy to do anything extra special for me. Even he said it himself. If you have a problem of some sort, come to the office, gather evidence, and if there's something we can do about it, there's something we'll do about it. Nothing underhanded, no money being exchanged, nothing. A friendly outing, having lunch, which some people just happen to be officers of the law. There's nothing in the crime books about that. And nothing would ever be even presented to any agency. You're not proving any kind of underhanded activities going on, zero. People sitting down and having lunch together at a resort. That's really incredible stuff. Boy, I'd be first in line to try to incriminate somebody who actually had lunch with people who happen to be in some kind of legal profession. Boy, I think a lot of people would be in trouble then. Nobody's cahooting with anybody. Zero. Nobody. I expect to maybe have even more friends in the future that might be in there. My girlfriend's kid is going into criminology. He might become a policeman himself, but I think he's going to become a lawyer. I think he went from that direction of wanting to go into being a lawyer. He thought about being a policeman first, and he still could. If you're taking criminology, you could do that stuff. People choose their professions. I always told him, "Nah, you don't want to be a policeman." I said, "That's actually could be too dangerous, really, profession to go into being a police officer. It's not for everyone. But becoming a lawyer, hey, I could certainly use one of them." Wait, that's sure.
Got the circle
Now
of
that would
death.
come in handy.
He has great internet.
But somebody would find something wrong with that. How dare you have a relative? I know. When you guys listen to this and you sound how ridiculous it sounds, well, you're absolutely right. It is ridiculous to some of the shit that you hear on YouTube here. It comes to a point when somebody's been after you for a long time and they just can't seem to win. And as I said, it's not a contest. They all think it's a contest. Nobody's here to win something. It's just absolutely absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Call it a pissing contest, whatever the hell it is. It's absurd. It's absurd. I can't help, but that's kind of like responsibility you have when you decide to do a social media show. It goes along with the territory. I think you all know that. If you don't, you should. If you want to do your own show, your own channel, I would give great advisement. And I've gone over some of that material before, the do's and don'ts of having a YouTube channel on your own. There's a lot of do's and don'ts. And if you abide by certain, you know, thoughts of how your channel is going to progress or disintegrate, I mean, it could go either way. It has to do with what you talk about on your show and how personal you get. That's just part of the territory. I must be on a little bit too early here. I've been doing on and off videos lately, but I made some changes on here, and people could see.
Yes, I do, Chris
I'm
Cable.
not monetized. I don't care about how many videos of mine are up. I just come on here to rap a little bit, man. But it's like I don't care how many videos I got up. And what I did was basically, if you noticed, that whatever I said was said in regards to any legal matters on here, in regard to troll topic matter, and the back and forth bullshit that goes on between me and certain characters on here. I figured they didn't need the PR. I don't need to give them the PR. Whatever I said on here, and I meant what I said. But it's been said, and a lot of these videos I took off because it's old news. Keep the channel as clean as I can. If I'm going to go on making any shows at all, now and in the near future and in the future, I want to guide it the way I want to guide it. I want to pick and choose what I think is a good topic. I want to pick and choose which is something I could leave on or take off or whatever, for whatever reason. I don't always take shows off because I'm afraid or I'm hiding something. I wouldn't put it on if I was afraid, if I was hiding something to begin with. Let's just get that clear. Sometimes I take off shows that I feel that it's just boring or it's old hat, and some of them is just very redundant. Because the same shit being talked about by trolls and other people. I mean, it's just some of the shit just gets really old. And why proliferate it? Why just give certain people, or we call them trolls, why give them the public relations that they want? That's all. Nothing more than that. Nothing at all. So I could pick and choose my friends. It don't matter what profession they're in. And you could write a letter to every goddamn agency in the world and say, I see some kind of a bad collusion here. And they're probably not going to get anything back, not even a correspondence from anybody. If they did, they say, well, what collusion? Seen a guy sitting down with some officers of the law, and there's no law against that. There ain't no money being exchanged on the table. There's nothing. If anything, they'll just laugh this out and says, yeah, sounds like these people are pretty desperate to find fault. They'll say, you're not doing anything wrong, dude. Continue to have your lunches with whoever you want to have lunches with, or whatever. Who knows, next time somebody's in town, I might invite them over for dinner. No Hungarian sausage, though, because Ricky would smell that out. He'd be over my house in no time at all. I actually don't like Hungarian sausage, actually. I let him eat a lot of it because, well, anyway, I'll cut right there. Otherwise, we're getting into the troll shit. And, well, I could say this. Ricky says, okay, Frank is talking about getting off his show. He's actually removed a lot of his material. Who cares? Good riddance. Well, the fact that Ricky keeps on talking about me must mean I'm somewhat significant in his life. But Ricky's the kind of guy, though. You know how he is. I meet him in SNR, and if he was big and mean and bad, and he had really issues with me, he could have took care of that right then and there. Fact or fiction, right? Come on. He could have took care of business right then and there, but he didn't. In fact, I'm the one that said to him, hey, you got a problem with me? I'm like, right here. But he didn't. So we wind up shopping together. Ain't that a turn of events? Wind up shopping together. A lot of people that talk on here. Ricky's one of the people that talk. So since we mentioned Ricky, we'll go with that thought. That's just Ricky, okay? I would have loved if Ricky would have pulled a Fazio on me. Considering it happened before, he would be in no shape legally this time. He might have got away with some of that shit with Fazio, but and especially the fact that he died, but he wouldn't get away with me because he's already on record as assaulting a senior. That wouldn't work out very well for him, I would imagine. So Ricky would never put his hand on me, but he's welcome to try and give me that opportunity because I think the situation would then turn into something a lot worse than what happened with Fazio. I'll almost put a guarantee on that. After already being charged for assault, wouldn't work very well for him. I would think not. And he's not that stupid. He understands that. But, he had his opportunity to approach me, but he made a big joke out of it. He comes in with his fist going, blah, 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 with his fist joking around, big shit-eating smile on his face. And it was downhill from there. I just let it out, and I said, okay. And I was serious. I said, hey, if you got a problem with me, I'm right here in front of you. Do what you feel you need to do. He didn't do it, though, and he never would. And he knows why. Common sense. If he has any left, it would make him understand that he's not going to do shit to me. He don't want to be in that position to do it.
That was a very
Now,
valuable
if you were to ask me the
insight.
question,
I hope you enjoy it,
do some of these
Dr.
cybercrime people that you claim to know and be friends with, do they know about some of the trolls and what's been going on YouTube? Yes, of course. I've had private talks. Absolutely. In fact, actually, he was behind the paperwork when it came to Fazio's situation.
I heard just like 30 seconds of
He actually received all the evidence. There's actually going to be an actual cybercrime case against Michael Fazio. And yes, this particular agent was behind that. Absolutely. As it went, we went to a hearing and Fazio couldn't produce the proper evidence and it was thrown out. If it wasn't, then that's where this guy would have came in, because he had all the videos, had all the paperwork and everything else involved. So yeah, Fazio in a way got lucky. He doesn't have to realize anything now. He's dead. But I had it all figured out. And it probably wouldn't have worked very well for Mr. Fazio. So he needs to count. I hope he counted his blessings at the time, because he made a fool out of himself, even in the FBI office. He was irate like he normally is, and that didn't go well and sit well with the guy on the other side of the desk. It just didn't work very well. There was 2 or 3 outbursts he had. Some people just can't contain themselves, and they get themselves in bigger trouble. So yes, would I be lying to you if I said that there are certain cybercrime officials that have prior knowledge to a lot of the chicanery going on YouTube? It is their profession, cybercrime, after all. I would have to answer that and says, yes, they do. And what they didn't know, I would tell them. And yes, it's good. Sure, it's good to know people in that profession, especially if you're on YouTube and there's a lot of cybercrime shit going on. Yeah, it does help. It does help to know somebody in the business that handles that. Of course it is. But it doesn't mean they're going to do anything underhand. It doesn't mean that they're going to risk their profession. It does not mean they're going to do something out of the ordinary that they wouldn't do before. They're going to tell you to come in, like he said, and it's important to have evidence. You got to sign the paperwork. That's how it works. They won't ask for anything more. That's just how it works. You can't have a case against somebody unless you do a lot of paperwork, evidence, and it's not just turning in one memory card. Oh, no, no, no. They want at least 5 of them of the same thing, because it has to go to different agencies. They have your copy, his copy, another agency's copy, and so forth. Yeah, you got to put about 5, and they'll tell you right up front, I need about 5 or 6 copies of this, because it has to go out to different agencies. And we'll wind up. So it's never just one video. No, it's not like that, as I learned. It's a pain in the ass, actually. That it is. It is a pain in the ass. But sometimes you got to do what you have to do, and you got to follow the protocol, because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere.
It's about money, dude. It'll always be about money.
Some people think, well, it's not worth the effort. Well, it's really according to what your situation is. There's a lot of situations that are not worth the effort at all. But for the ones that are, it is worth your effort to try to bring, shall I say, remedy to a situation that got out of control. Makes sense? I'm sure it does. So these little underhanded efforts that the trolls are trying to do and say, yeah, some collusion, yeah. No, it's called friendship. Friendship. So am I in some collusion with my lawyer? He showed me his house where he lived. Didn't have to. We have a professional relationship, but he's known me for a while now. And he felt comfortable with me enough to say, yeah, here's where I live. Let's go take a ride over here. Nothing wrong with that at all. So the fact that I happen to know people that are in certain positions, it doesn't really give me the upper hand. The only way it gives me the upper hand is that they have the knowledge of what's going on and they can figure out the right way to help the situation and make proper advice on how the system works. And I know how the system works already. I know the proper procedures you have to do. If you really got to get to that point with somebody on YouTube or any other media, you gain a knowledge of what are the steps that I have to take. No matter how much I don't like anybody, I could write 1,000 letters to immigration and say, hey, this guy I think is an undesirable. That's pointless and it's fruitless. There's a procedure to everything, and I do mean everything. You couldn't even walk in their office and say, hey, I think this guy is a scumbag. Don't work that way. They have to follow certain procedures. That's the bottom line. I can't find my way around that, and neither can anybody else, and I never found my way around it. They're going to tell you the same thing. Do you got evidence? Okay, let's see the evidence. We could present this to a prosecutor, and he could find resolution to this, because it's all going to wind up in a prosecutor's hands somewhere along the line. It's the prosecutor that has to say nay or yay. Okay, this is worthwhile evidence, not to clog up the dockets that are already in the courts. When a prosecutor makes a decision on something, he has to look at it in so many ways. What are the elements in there that qualify this to be a cybercrime? He has to make that assessment. He's got plenty of experience with that. So he knows right away from reading the discovery and whatnot, he'll know right away, is this something that is worth pursuing? Because they work closely with they're all part of the Department of Justice, and they did not go to submit something that, or otherwise they're going to get a lot of crap from it, because the judicial system, they don't want to be clogged up. If there's a case that's worthwhile, then they'll take it. And it's really up to the prosecutor's signature and endorsement. An endorsement is very important, to have endorsements. So if a prosecutor endorses this, to other divisions, endorses it to the court for a case, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. There is a certain protocol that the legal system out here has to follow. It don't matter if you don't like somebody on here. You don't have to like somebody on here, but just by making phone calls or calling around to immigration and other office and say, hey, this is a bad guy, because you just don't happen to like the person. It doesn't work that way. If it was that easy, there'd be a lot of people in big trouble. Guarantee you that. You gotta have lawyers. You gotta have the prosecutor behind you.
I'll send that right out. Western Union chicken choker. Don't worry
It's
about
really
it. Got you covered,
it's not a
shipmate.
simple formula, but there is a simplicity to it. It's a protocol. When you follow the protocol and you get these elements out of the way, then you got a good start. And they can do their job. But they can't do their job without providing the proper evidence that's going to be in the eyes of a prosecutor to be worthwhile pursuing, to bring it to a court system. And immigration, you just can't write immigration. But look, I know
Right,
this.
Steve, I got my go bag.
You think I
got
haven't
my
done this in the
mobility.
past? I was
Scooter
pretty big on the
charged.
letters to immigration years
I'm ready
ago.
to haul ass,
Big
man.
time. They didn't care what I had to say. The only thing they would care if they had a court order for something to, you know, to do something in regards to somebody, or through a lawyer, of course, or whatever. There are procedures. It's not gravy. It's not easy to, especially in this country, it is not an easy task to convince a prosecutor or whoever and say, man, I don't like this guy, this guy I think is undesirable. He should not be in this country. Well, it's not for the person who's making that report, the individual, to decide. It's really up to procedural things with the court system and the legal system on how things get done out here. And like I said, I never said it was easy. Like the song, nothing comes easy to me. And nothing will come easy to anybody else. It takes a lot of determination, a lot of time. It could take a little money for legal fees and so forth. That's just the way it works. Now, if you could find a way to change the system to make it a lot easier, do let me know. I'd be the first to want to know how to make things easier. You either decide that somebody has crossed the line with you or not. How far? You got to make an assessment. How far did they cross that line with you? Is it worth pursuing a legal case? Is it worth spending money? Is it
Thank
worth
God
spending
for
time? Is it worth
cappuccino
signing paperwork?
and you guys in the
Is it worth
live
going to
chat.
court
I
hearings
would
and all
not be
that
able
stuff?
to
Is
stay
it
awake
worth it?
from
That's
this
something
shit.
that you have to ask yourself. Because otherwise it's a waste of time. And I know this for a fact. Because before I had knowledge really about, procedural things and all that, I was haphazard. I was doing the same things a lot of people do. Oh, let's write a letter to the immigration people and let's say that this guy's a bad dude for whatever reason. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. It just doesn't work that way. And I know that from actual experience. Experience spells it out. Learning from your own mistakes that no, this ain't gonna work. And I've tried this before and it's just not happening. It's a monumental waste of time. Things don't come easy in the Philippines and you gotta work for it. You wanna try to get something done, you could get it done through proper
You
channels,
don't gotta work for it in the Philippines. You gotta pay for it, Frank, like you
proper
were doing
procedures,
today, buddy.
proper paperwork, proper evidence. The list goes on and on. Nothing comes easy in the Philippines. It just doesn't. It's mostly wishful thinking. You got to be willing to spend the time, the effort. Making personal appearances, that's another thing you have to do. So you can make all the complaints you want, but if you don't personally meet up with somebody in a particular profession that has to do with cybercrime or any other crime here, they need to know who you are. You got to put your signature to something. You can't hide who you are. You can't make an anonymous report and expect them to respect what you write when there's no evidence, no paperwork, nothing to provide to these people. Yes, that's the way it works.
You all been schooled by Frank. I hope you all know now.
Pardon me, I'm multitasking at the time here. I tell you, I don't stop. I really don't. Well, it's off the freaking floor because both are in heat. Gotta soak this mop down. And we go through this several times a day.
Frank's gonna mop the floor.
You get
I don't
blood
know.
on
That
everything.
might be beneath him.
Just about. It's not a pleasant task, but somebody's got to do it. 1 second here. Part of the job I don't like. So you really got to disinfect the mop, really. And you're better off just really throwing it in the washer, really, with some bleach. You'd be surprised what you track in the house every time you go out and come back in. Then you have the dogs that track shit in too. Then they're in heat. Of course, they're bleeding. There's going to be blood droplets everywhere. Not very pleasant.
Well, if you took
But
care of your dogs, you wouldn't have that fucking problem. Yeah, I think he pulled a Joe Biden, man. Shit himself. It's running down his leg. He's off to the CR now. Yeah, yeah, he's got to go clean himself up, guys. Oh, circle of death again. Let's see, how long has this piece of shit been going now? Oh, he's been going for an hour and 10 minutes now. I'm going to go now. I'm all ready for tomorrow, so wish me luck. I'm nervous about seeing my sons, and wish me luck, you guys. Good luck, Big Kevin. Enjoy your trip. Just breathe. Take it easy. Take it a step at a time. You'll be okay, man. Well, is he back yet? He's still fucking around with the camera, huh? You guys are great, man. I love your comments. They're hilarious. A kid must have entered the room. Playtime. Oh yeah, I'd like to hear another rendition of the Mushroom Man song. That would be epic. Just totally epic. Ah, man, oh man. It's so much fun getting to comment on him while he's live. That's why I do it. Do it for you guys, man. I You guys always show up at my show, so I'm willing to go the extra mile for you. Has Frank's phone ever been charged past 15%? I don't think so. These streams are always fun. Yeah, they are. I mean, really, what's he doing? Is he replacing the tile on the floor? What's it take to mop a floor? Is he crab walking it there past Fort TV? Streaming his stuff pisses him off. So, Popeye, any comment on Philippines extradition forces coming for you? Dude, I'm fucking shitting my pants, you know, every time the doorbell rings. I'm like, oh, this could be it, man. This could be it. I gotta get out the back door. You know, hop on my mobility scooter. When we rather be at the Popeye listening to secondhand says something. You think watches your replay and read the comments. Oh, you know he does. He reads every comment, man. Some of the funniest crap on YouTube is right here with Frank playing the straight man to the crowd. That's no shitter, Don COVID. Help, I have fallen and I can't get it. Get up. He's probably got another phone checking your channel, Popeye. Well, if he is, Frank, fuck you. Indeed, Don, he's the greatest setup man ever. And zip away at 3 miles per hour. Dude, you'll be seeing burning rubber, man. I got a nitrous tank hooked up to my mobility scooter, man, so I could do 4 miles per hour. Don, I'm sure he didn't ask his cop friends, how old do I look? Nico and Popeye, are you gonna go on the run like Pony Boy? That's a good one. John Cade stayed golden, golden fellas. Oh man, that's a great movie, man. The Outsider's Passport. Dude, I love your references. On point. Popeye yelling, Hector, slow down. These coppers can't get me. Hmm. He's calling the PNP and filing another report as we speak. You know, I have to tell you, Passport TV, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I got this one channel, it's called Movieplex, and they played it, and I watched it from beginning to end with no commercials. It was great. Steve, he asked everyone if the cow across the street could answer, he'd be right over to the pasture. Oh my God, you guys are hilarious, man. I mean, your comments are just off the friggin' charts. I mean, this is what YouTube is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about having fun, right? Not about filing reports. He called me a bad name, and my feelings are hurt. Well, all I have to say is nobody puts Frankie in the same corner. Oh man. So what do you think? You think guys, he's down to 10 people watching, man. What a shame. What a shame. What do you think, guys? You think he maybe dropped dead? He fucking died? Huh? And the live stream will go on till his phone dies? Press 1 if you think Frank fucking died. Press 2 if you think he shit himself. Press 3 if Gilda's giving him a blowjob. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Got a couple of ones, got a couple of twos. Two, never, never a three. I thought maybe that Gilda might be giving him a hock tooey. I wonder Gilda cut up a couple of double dead steaks from the cow and put them in the freezer. Oh man. Maybe Gilda went to the medicine cabinet and got him a couple of bluebirds. That could be. And she's trying to get him to swallow them. And, you know, 70-year-old children are very stubborn. I doubt he ever gotten lucky with Gilder. You don't even think he got a little stink finger, man? Maybe Roberto is doing a drive-by and throwing poop grenades at Frank's front door. Only the PNP men get Frank to swallow. The microwave has run out of beeps. I mean, that's pretty bad when you gotta use that cheap shit and heat your fucking water up in a microwave. Man, come on. Fucking be like Popeye. Buy $1,000 fucking cappuccino machine that makes frappes, that does this, that does that, you know? Popeye, you old playboy, my wife says your laugh is handsome. Now get out of here, you home wrecker. Tell your wife I'm sorry. But this is just freaking hilarious. I'm losing it. Oh, he's our Gomer Pyle citizen's arrest. I wonder if he's got the the one bullet in his right pocket, and Gilda's always holding his gun. Well, golly! Oh man, this is great. I'm glad. I'm glad I started simulcasting him today. I wasn't gonna do it, and then I said, you know, the guys are gonna love it. They want to come in. They want to talk some shit. Oh my God. Let's see. He's down to 12 people. Remember, Frank's kitchen has no hot water faucet. Be jealous. Be very jealous. I am. You know, I am. I wish I could live like that. Gilda holds everything else, including the home title. The PNP and the cyber unit uh, shaking him down for more dollars. Oh, you know they are. You know they are. The peanut butter trick is number 4 on Gilda. Gilda's choice. Choose your pleasure. Oh my God. You guys are fucking terrible. I love it. Ah. Oh man, he's gone a long time, man. Where did old Frank talk shit? It has a whole different meaning. Yeah, it does. I bet he uses extra chunky as well. Oh my God. Pick a hamster is number 5. Okay. Maybe he went off to buy the 100-inch TV. Oh, could be. The bluebirds kicked in and he forgot he was streaming. Oh my God. That's a good one. 6, it's all the lizards in his AC unit. Yeah. Ella1, maybe he did forget he was streaming. Yeah, I think he's got a little I think he's got a little cognitive problem going on there. shoot a ping pong ball across the room into shot glass number 2. Mm. I'm out. Promised a water fight to the bosses. Be safe, everybody. Okay, Chicken Choker, man. Be cool. Have a good one, brother. Because I'm probably thinking about ending this here shortly. I think he forgot he was live. Frank did a Joe Biden and walked away. Oh my God. Later, chicken. How many of you guys gonna watch the debate tomorrow night? Y'all gonna watch the debate? Passport nailed, most likely. You hear one nut claiming that Gilder is online gambling, talks it up, that she's always wins, which is a total BS. Losing one nut's money. Yeah, I think you're right about that there, watching Philippines train wreck. Yeah, he's missing in action, man. He's down to, let's see, 9 people watching now. Uh, the debate will look like this. The debate will look like this show. One old man dribbling and another making fun of him. I think you're right about that, man. I think you could be right. Chris Cato, pretty much my take, Don. Yeah. Well, we've got another weekend coming up, guys. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end this. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. And I want to thank you all for coming in. I enjoyed it. Joe will not have a clue, and Trump will say crazy shit. Hmm, I don't know. I think Trump's going to take a different tact. The idiot muttered to himself again by accident, guaranteed. I wonder what the over and under is for how long it takes Biden to poop himself. Philippines train wreck. Gilda has a co-ed softball team. Yeah, he might be sobbing in a corner. Thanks for streaming, and a lot of all of you have a great day. We went face down, ass up in the Xanax coma. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You have a good one. I'll see you Sunday night, and we'll have a real good show. All right?